A forgotten artifact lies in pieces on a planet far from Earth. Few know it exists except those who took it back and those whose ancestors created it. 4 young people are thrown into a race against emissaries of the gods to find its pieces. Mistrust, greed, and magic are tangled in an endless web. What will the fate be of the universe once it is found and reassembled? Get Scepter of the Gods, The Rod of Truth now on Amazon, and get wrapped up in the saga that will not let you go.
Good morning, and welcome to the Motivational Devotional, where we are merging motivation and spirituality to create a daily dose of confident positivity. I hope that this morning's podcast will help you to be more spiritually and positively motivated so that you can transform your day. This is a special episode in a series of podcasts based on Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. For several years now, I have gone back to the habits taught in this book to prepare for the coming year and home in closer and closer to my lifelong dream and my goals so that I could more effectively achieve my goals. Year after year, we hear people joking about setting New Year's resolutions and then abandoning them by February. Personally, I don't find that very funny. I hope that your resolutions are more important to you than to give them up after only a month or two. What if you were to set 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most resolutions or goals for 2024, and then at the end of 2024, find that you nailed each one of them? You can. I set 2 goals that to me were very large. As I talk about in the Motivational Devotional, I had to change and grow to become more than I was in order to achieve those goals. As I say this now, I have done that. I changed. I grew. I achieved. Starting with the November 27, 2023 podcast and running through the New Year's Eve podcast, this series offers 35 episodes of principles, inspiration, and motivation that I use toward fulfilling my own lifelong dream. I have audacious goals for 2024, but only 3, because more than that will water down your efforts. I will achieve mine by this time next year. You can do the same. And I hope you will pursue yours with relentless intent. If you find these helpful, please go to the Motivational Devotional Facebook page and let me know. For now, let's get on with it. I'm entirely fascinated with any picture that looks initially like one thing, but someone says to, hold on, look more carefully, look for this or that, and then when you notice that thing, you see the whole thing as a different picture entirely. Isn't that cool? I remember this one picture, and I would show it to you, except this is an audio podcast, but it will be posted with the written blog version at motivational-devotional.com. But it is a picture that at first looks to some people like an elderly woman. To other people, it looks like a young woman. People will almost get into arguments about what it really is a picture of. Then, when someone takes the time to explain that it looks like a young woman looking away, and it also looks like an older woman looking towards you, well, then people can see both perspectives. There is a phrase in the Old Testament book of Proverbs that says, "A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only in expressing personal opinion." By that standard, I have known and worked with a lot of fools over the years, and a good many of them, too many in fact, were managers. We can go too far in trying to understand others and never letting our own opinions be known, to where we abandon our own perspective and worse, our own values and dreams and goals, simply to not upset the other person. Don't do that. What you have in you is too valuable to throw it away simply because someone else might disagree with you. However, I have also learned that it is demeaning to other people when one person continually expresses their own opinion without any care for the other person's opinions. Especially when I was in the Air Force, but when working at other companies too, I've heard managers say that they aren't paying for a person's opinion, they're paying for people to do what they're told. Fewer and fewer companies operate that way these days, and I'm glad of it. But far too many people get placed into a management type of role, and for whatever reason, be it insecurity, a controlling nature, I don't know, but they become this person who doesn't care what anyone else thinks, and they just want to express their own opinion. But it isn't just in workplaces.
Years and years ago, when our family dynamic was different and lots of relatives lived near each other, we would gather for holidays and have big dinners and such, and there were always one or two people who would listen only to hear that point where they could interject what they thought. And boy, oh boy, did they always believe it was right, and theirs was the final answer. I've caught myself a few times in life trying to be that person, and when I realized what I was doing, I was shocked. I quit it. Somehow I've known since a very young age that people should be heard, and that my opinion only holds a certain amount of value. Whereas that value increases the more I listen to the opinions of others. I see the world now in a much broader way because I have worked to understand the perspectives of other people. Thinking about that picture I mentioned, and I hope you'll take a chance to visit my website and see what it's about. My hope is that this is a profound lesson that we don't have to fully agree and have the same perspective to be able to work together toward common goals. That right there will not only make you a wiser and happier person, but if all of us did that, we could end a ton of arguments at the national level. To paraphrase our proverb, if we express only our personal perspective and never seek to understand the perspective of other people, then we are not only being foolish, we are missing some of the vital stuff of life. Consider the picture of the woman again. Seeing only one perspective, we might say, so what? It's a sketch of a woman. Understanding that it has two dimensions, though, we might say, oh, wow, look at that. It becomes much more interesting when we see the other perspective, regardless of which one we prefer. Life is that way, and other people are that way. We show a great deal more wisdom by learning as many other perspectives as we can before asserting an opinion. What we generally will find is that our original opinion is no longer relevant as it goes through some adjustment because we broadened our understanding. Look for the other point of view as much as possible today. Life's greatest blessings are often waiting to be seen, but you will see them because all of creation is conspiring in your favor. Trust that the universe always has your back. Stephen Covey wrote, "Maturity is the balance between courage and consideration."
Thank you for taking the time to listen today. Please help keep this podcast going by following the Motivational Devotional Facebook page, following @Threefold Way Radio on Twitter, and sharing the written format of today's message from motivational-devotional.com on your social media. I am deeply grateful for your support, and thank you for letting Motivational Devotional be part of your journey. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Motivational Devotional is in production of Threefold Way Radio, LLC.